שלום, מה שלומך, רוואן?
Hi Matanya, shalom, shalom.
אנחנו פה כבר שבוע, we are for a week already here in Israel. So you speak Arabic, you speak English, and you understand Hebrew much more than people think. But still we're going to do it in English. פה ושם נדבר עברית.
אם אתה רוצה, כן.
או ערבית.
או
We
ערבית.
I don't know much Arabic, but maybe I'll learn. Okay, so first of all, I know every interview you have to do it, but here again, because not everybody knows you yet. So please tell a little about yourself, like who you are.
Thank you for reminding me that I'm not famous enough in Israel. So, I'm half Syrian, half Lebanese. I grew up in the Bekaa Valley. My mother is Shia, my father is Sunni from Damascus. And I grew up as a teenager loving Hezbollah. I'm not proud of it, but this is what I watched on the news, and I am older than I look. So back in my days, we did not have social media. So we believed whatever we saw on the news. Hezbollah are heroes, and they protect us when Israel and the bad guys attack us. And now, after living in Europe for a long time, I know that everything we learned is wrong. So I think I am the most vocal Syrian supporting Israel.
Wow.
Yes.
You know, you're saying, I bet no one asked you, everything they told you was wrong. Is there any chance some of the things they said was not wrong? Some things about the Jews that they are bad are true.
Indeed. Not everything we learned was wrong. I attended one of the best schools in Lebanon, a French Catholic school. They also were not fond of the Jews. What we learned is that the Jews, the Zionists, the Israelis came from Eastern Europe and they colonized the region. They stole Palestine from the poor Palestinians, implying that Palestine was a country with defined political borders. We learned that the Jews only care about the Jews and they don't mind doing anything to others. Now, some go further and claim that Israel will expand, that many fanatics in Israel want to have great Israel from the Nile to the Euphrates in Iraq. Is some of what we learned true? Of course. I'm not naive. I did not come to Israel, made so many friends, being blind to reality. What the Nazis tried to convince the world of, that all Jews are monsters, is wrong. And what the world expects from Israel today, that they all behave like angels, is also wrong because it's not realistic. But to say that all of them are horrible, I have seen the opposite with my own eyes. I think that 1%, even less, and I met thousands of Israelis. I am more famous than you think, my dear Matanya, in Israel.
I know, I was walking with you and people approach you all the time, I know.
Less than 1% are hateful, and some dismissed me.
Less than 1%.
I can say this with confidence.
Basically nothing.
Most people are interested in peace in the region. They still believe in peace. I met families who lost children. I met families who still have children in Gaza, who still believe in peace with the Arabs.
I met a family who lost their child in Lebanon.
2.5 months ago, killed. And I asked them.
You asked them?
Are you angry with the Lebanese? And they said, no. And we have this. We will put it on social media. They said, no. Hezbollah killed my son. And when I asked them, could you forgive? And if there is peace with Lebanon, would you and your husband go? They said, better. We will go and we will take our 22 grandchildren with us.
Wow, amazing. Okay, I want to talk a little about achdut, unity. You know that the Aseret movement deals a lot with unity. It's very important. So I want to ask you, what do you think, how important it is to have unity? Because before October 7th, it was intelligence that told the Prime Minister, I don't know, it went out to the media, that they are waiting to attack, and the best time to attack us is when we are not united, when we are not unified. This is the best time to attack us. And that actually what happened. And reminds me, we went to the president also, he told you, or you told him that where does people get news against Israel? So it's, I don't know all the newspaper you said, but also you said Haaretz.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's self-hate.
Because Hassan Nasrallah for a very long time, quoted Haaretz. Yes, indeed, Israel needs unity. When I was invited to speak at the Knesset, there was a specific theme. We wanted to talk about sexual violence used as a weapon of war on October 7th. And I did not want to share my speech with them, with the organizers, because I wanted to add a point, and I wasn't sure if that's allowed. Towards the end, I wanted to remind the Israelis that Israel cannot afford division, especially because I watch the news in the Arab world. I watch everybody celebrating the bickering, the misunderstandings, the fighting between left and right. They were betting on that to weaken Israel. And when Israel was so divided, they hit Israel, and they hit really hard. They did not hit the right, those who are fanatics or extremists in their views. They hit Israel. And those who paid the highest price aren't on the right or on the left. They are Israelis. And I wanted to say that clearly out loud in the Knesset, to remind everyone, remember that your worst political opponent in Israel, no matter who they are, they will never kill your son or rape your daughter.
Has to come from someone that came from the outside to tell them that.
Yes.
Like Lebanese, Syrian, telling them, and how did they react?
I almost had a standing ovation. People were in awe. It had a very positive effect. People wrote about it, that went viral. But I still remind everybody, it doesn't have to be on social media or in the Knesset. I keep reminding the Israelis, Israel is a democracy. It is healthy to disagree. And to agree to disagree, it's not a problem. It keeps the country alive. But not to the point where you are striving to eliminate your opponent. Israel is strong in its diversity. If you're all at the synagogue on Yom Kippur, something like the Yom Kippur War can happen. You need those who are not at the synagogue. If they are Jews and they're not praying, we're not promoting it. But if they don't want to, then they don't want to. Hashem knows what Hashem wants from each one of us. They are on their personal journeys. Accept them as they are. You need the Druze and the Muslim and the Christian who want to stand by your side. Israel is strong in its diversity and its differences. You cannot afford unity. And if you're going to fight, if you must fight, do it behind closed doors, not
I think it's
on global
fight.
media.
You know, brother and sister, they fight.
Yes.
It's fine.
But they
Couples
don't wish.
fight.
But they don't wish death upon one another.
Right, and don't, in Hebrew you say, מכבסים את הכביסה המלוכלכת בחוץ, meaning, you know, all the
Yes.
dirty laundry outside. It's inside, it's indoors.
Yeah.
You know, the unity that you refer, it happened after October 7th. But I think that it happened because we were united against something. We had an enemy. We had to unite. And the Israelis were united amazingly. But it's been more than a year, and we see the cracks already starting to happen. And I think that it's because we were united against something. And like you always say, we will win. We will prevail. And then what happens? We're going to still stay with ourselves. And so how can we, maybe we can be united for something and not against something?
As an outsider, I see it a bit differently. I came to Israel after October 7th. I never visited Israel before that. And after October 7th, I've been here for 7 times. I'm ready to move to Israel. So,
we talked about a couple of options, Jerusalem,
yes, where
maybe.
to live. Definitely Jerusalem.
Definitely Jerusalem,
I'm not
depends where.
negotiating that.
Yeah.
And I saw incredible unity. I lived in 7 countries. I did not live in a culture where people take personal initiatives to build, to take people to hospitals, to check on a single mother or on children who lost their father, to check on the elderly, to drive somewhere to visit a lone soldier. I've seen unity. They weren't united just because now the enemy is clear, Hamas and whoever is behind Hamas. they were also united in pain, in sorrow, in grief, united in a trauma, in a shock, united in a realization that they went too far. They were also united in understanding we are Israelis. Like someone who slapped them really hard in the face. You are Israeli, they were reminded. And for the Jews, because of course, it's all because of the Jews. If Israel wasn't Israel, the situation would be much different. The Jews in Israel and around the globe, those who were trying to be less Jewish, were united in understanding you can try as much as you like. You can be an atheist, you can change your name, but you will never get rid of your Jewish identity. Whether you're a rabbi or a stripper, you're a Jew. They were united in this realization, and I reckon that was a positive realization. Something even worse than October 7th that united the Jews is the aftermath of October 7th, realizing that anti-Semitism is widespread much more than we've all imagined.
And in places we didn't see that coming.
Never. Anti-Semitism surfaced. Jew hatred became visible, highlighted, and that made the Jews reconsider everything they thought about the world.
You know, we did a film together with Rabbi Father Shore,
Yeah.
the Aseret movement, when copying, and that's the message of the film at the end. It's first showing that there's anti-Semitism, Jew hatred. And at the end of the film, it's like, so, okay, we're being hated for who we are, sort of, so let's be who we are.
Yes.
Right? We should stand for who we are. Let's not be ashamed of it.
Stop apologizing for who you are.
Exactly. Like the movie says, the film says, Sinai le Sinai, for the mouth of Sinai, our mission in the world, with the 10 Commandments, we were hated for it.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is to fulfill our destiny and live with the 10 Commandments.
Yes. It's also part of the message. And the reason why I wanted to share that I'm converting to Judaism, although prior to October 7th, that was a personal matter. I did not want to share because I didn't want to explain. It's something that makes sense to me. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else, except for my son, because I did not want him to question my sanity.
Yeah.
I decided to share because my message was to the world, the light, the universal morality stemming from Judaism is not exclusive for the Jews. You live by it. You know that this morality is what we need on how to deal with one another. It's a set of principles that can govern our interactions.
Core values for as a person and for society.
That is the message to the world. The light of Judaism is not exclusive to the Jews. And to the Jews, my message was, I'm proud. I am not ashamed of sharing that I'm converting because my conversion is not my dirty secret. And now I'm saying it out loud because I want you too to understand that there's nothing in you, about you, to be ashamed of. There's nothing wrong with you and everything wrong with the world. And to see the impact that had when I told it at the beginning privately to a group of Jewish students in the US, that moved me. And I realized that's what Hashem wants from me. I was given a gift, then I was given a mission. It comes with a responsibility and I have to give back. When we left one university campus, the Consulate General shared a message she received from one of the mothers. She said that my girl decided not to drop out of college after she heard Rawan speak. You have nothing to apologize for. You're a Jew. Be a gay Jew, be an Orthodox Jew, be an atheist Jew, be a cool Jew or a miserable Jew, but you are a Jew and you don't have to hide it.
Amazing. You know, after October 7th, a couple of days afterwards, I talked to a Muslim friend of mine. And he said, Matanya, I was in law school in Sderot. We did meetups for students on the 10 Commandments. And he said, I remember we study the third commandment is you shall not carry God's name in vain. It only means just to do it. And he said, it's so hard for me because I see the videos and they yell, Allahu Akbar. And what they do? They kill, they rape, they steal. So that's really violating the commandments. And I thought about it, and in the second moment we thought about it, that they actually violate the whole 10 Commandments. From the first to the last. Every commandment, they violate. And maybe what we can do to fix it is to live the 10 Commandments in the good way. So if they carried God's name in vain, we should carry God's name not in vain. And be proud for who we are. Like you said, we are Jewish.
Yeah. They weren't ashamed to cry, God is great, Allahu Akbar, when they were committing atrocities. So don't be ashamed if you're wearing your kippah. Don't be ashamed if you are a Jew. Don't be ashamed of your Torah. You can be proud, and we should shame them. Don't use God's name to justify rape, mutilating, killing, even little children and the elderly. If they are not ashamed, why should you?
It's so strong what you're saying. It's so strong. They're not ashamed using God, behaving like in the name of God when they do atrocities. And sometimes we are like, oh, I don't know, maybe should I say it? Maybe it's talking about God too much. I'm being too Jewish.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Like
Don't
people tell me, don't share that you're converting because that will upset the Muslim followers and then they won't listen to you anymore. So I have to be ashamed, not provoke them. I should try not to provoke them and not share that I'm converting. But they were not worried about provoking anybody when they were raping and saying Allahu Akbar. You understand how twisted our brains are? We think we have to make ourselves smaller and smaller and smaller. And how did that work out for you on October 7th?
Wow. Unbelievable. So I want to go over the 10 Commandments and then ask you.
Let's do that.
What is, you think, in your opinion, for you personally, is the commandment you feel like today, this week, it's your mission today? And what do you think for the Israeli society should be the commandment we should focus on to heal our society? Okay? So let's go. The first commandment is, I am God, your Lord, who took you out of Egypt from the house of slavery. And we explain it as you have to do good in the world. Like God took the Jews out of Egypt. That's how he introduced himself. You should do good as well. The second one is you should not have another God. And meaning you have to have faith. That's one, of course. But also don't get addicted to a lot of things. Let's say social media, let's say your phone, let's say drugs, alcohol, doesn't matter. Some people take something and it becomes their God. They're so addicted to it, it's like you lost yourself. The third one we talk about, you should not carry God's name in vain. Carry it with proud. The fourth one is Shabbat. Remember the Sabbath day. In the film, we have you lighting the candles.
The last scene.
Yes.
And
that's
we wanted to
Shabbat.
make a call for action. Even if you don't keep Shabbat, light Shabbat candles.
And add light into the world in general.
Yes.
And peace. That's Shabbat. It goes for everyone. And then the fifth one is honor your father and your mother. And that goes also for the elderly you mentioned. Is honor. Have kavod. Lechabed. Kol adam. Lechabed. The sixth one is you should not murder. Obviously, say no more. But also, as Rav Shalom explains it, is that we are committed to defend our life. Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. So we have to go and fight. That's part of lo tirtzach. We have to go and fight our enemies. And it's also spread the love. It's also. And then we should have, you do not commit adultery, which is being loyal. What's the most unfaithful, unloyal thing you can do? Betray your partner, but also betray your country. That's something you can do. You can go on social media, on Haaretz, and spread lies on your own people. That's betraying. So being faithful, being loyal. Do not steal. Stealing is not just money. Obviously, it's people. Like Hamas did, they stole people. But still also mind and time. We met this week some people, that sometimes we talked about it. We were driving a lot. And people call on the phone, neither to me and to you. And then when I hold you as a captive, right? They're like, we want you. Like, text me. Yes. You steal my time.
Yes.
And you feel it like it's hurting you.
Yes.
That's do not steal. It goes for a lot of things. Don't steal me. And the ninth one is...
Do not be a false witness.
exactly, do not be a false witness, do not testify falsely, which means also speak the truth. And the last one is do not covet, be happy with what you have, happy with your lot. Look at what you have. Don't look, oh, what they have, what they have. What do you have? What is your mission?
What you have, and do your best. You want more, you focus on yourself and develop. Don't want what your neighbors have.
Exactly. Okay, so now I want to ask you, for yourself, Rawan Osman, what is the commandment that speaks to you, that guides you more than anything? And what are you suggesting for the Israeli society, that they should focus on?
We all know that the 10 Commandments are equally important to guide and govern our life.
That's a good start.
But again, and I was asked that on the Shabbaton because we did small workshops.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with the first commandment. It is very important that an action is taken on a collective level. You don't have to lie. You don't have to steal. Nobody's gonna know if you cheat on your wife. It's you and your conscience, your relationship with your Creator, if you believe in the Creator. But remembering as a collective that Hashem did something for you as a people, and those who had the courage to go out of Egypt, because some did not want to leave their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
We say comfort zone, although slavery is not comfort. It's a comfort zone because it's an evil I know. I don't want to try and discover an evil I don't know. But you have to have faith, imunah, to trust that when someone, especially the Creator, is promising you, work with me, let's work together. And there is a better alternative, but we have to believe. We have to have the courage to take action. I think this is the most important now. While the entire globe, or most of the people around this world, are shaming Israel, pointing a finger. You are committing a genocide. You are baby killers. Israel is an apartheid. And you tell them, "Al ma atem medabrim?" Come, see Israel. What do you mean? This is my best friend. She wears a headscarf. She wears a hijab. What are you talking about? They judge the Israelis by how they're treating their enemies during war or before war. How the Israelis treat someone in Jenin. They want a country instead of Israel, not near Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So the world judges Israel based on the interaction with the Palestinians, mostly the most extreme Palestinians, and today judging Israel based on how Israel is dealing with a war. I judge the Israelis by how they're treating their own people, their own children, and I judge Hamas by how they're treating their own children. Forget about the Israelis. Even if you don't care if all those people died, judge Hamas by how they treat their own people, their children. The fighters, the freedom fighters, those brave men came, invaded Israel, committed atrocities. They ran back to where they came from and went underground, hiding under their
like
own
rats.
people. When we say their own people, it's so abstract. Let's make it clear. They hid under their families,
Wow.
under their children, under their sisters and mothers. Those fighters hid underground, leaving their family members, the vulnerable ones, to die. When we say human shields, it became so repeated, it lost its meaning.
Literally.
They allowed their family members, their own blood and flesh, to die because to them, the cause, the idea, the political agenda is more important than the well-being, the welfare of their own. I judge them based on that before I evaluate what they committed on October 7th. So in Israel, this is how the general mood is. You look around and you see the world judging you. Now you are beneath everybody else. This is the spot, the place where they put you. But you, as a people, not as individuals, collectively say, it's a badge of honor. All this finger pointing, it's a badge of honor. Shame us more, and this is how we'll become more Zionist. We will defend one another even more. We will come together and we will display solidarity that you have never seen before. This is the message. Not losing your faith and not doubting for a second that Israel will prevail, because Hashem took you out of Egypt. And between then and now, the Jews lived many, many, many events to remind them that evil is objective, like the Torah tells you. It's objective. And the worst thing we remember in modern history wasn't long ago, the Holocaust.
Mm-hmm.
In spite of all this, here we are. Behind me is the Israeli flag of a Jewish state. Do you think someone in 1945, sitting in a death camp, witnessing all the horrors of Nazi Germany or the Nazi ideology, they could imagine that a Jewish state will come to existence? Dare to dream and learn from all those lessons from Egypt till now. This is why I choose the first commandment, that Israel will prevail, Bezrat Hashem, but for that, you have to embrace your Jewishness.
Wow, that's an amazing answer, Rawan. Amazing. Okay, what about the commandments that speaks to the Israeli people? As a nation, what do you think? Or as a state also? Like you said, the Jews, the Arabs, as the Israeli society. What do you think? The commandment we need now, if we have to focus on one, to heal society, to win, to prevail, what's the most important?
I think the first commandment is a good start as a collective, and every other commandment, it has to apply to your life individually to be adapted, because we all have different circumstances. Sometimes you are a believer, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're single, sometimes you're married, sometimes you're old, sometimes you're a son, sometimes you're a mother. So it depends on each one of us. You have to embrace the 10 Commandments, because this is your wealth. This is your treasure. So do with your treasure whatever you want. I give you $1 million now. Maybe you go buy Ferraris with it. I don't know. I give $1 million to somebody else. Maybe he will go and give it to charity.
I love your answer. I feel stupid now. I asked you to choose one commandment. Why would I do that? And you're coming from the outside again telling me, no, it's a collective. We have to have all of them. You have to have all of them. And depends when to use what, right? But we have to have them, as in Hebrew you say, set arachim. Means that's our core values.
Yeah.
We have to have them all. And you always choose the first one. I think the first one is very strong because held inside everything that comes afterwards, you know?
And I came, exactly. And I came to Israel only after October 7th. So I did not come as a tourist and established personal rapport with some Israelis, and slowly I understood Israeli society. From the beginning, I had a very intensive experience with as many Israelis as possible. That was the purpose of our work, to say no. Now we're choosing sides. And I'm coming here to join this camp, and we're fighting all together to save this camp. So my experience was always on the collective level, so to speak. The individual commandments, each one of us, depending on their situation, they find one commandment more relevant than the others, or some more relevant than the whole. So from that, just remember, bear in mind, as an Israeli, even if you're not Jewish, as an Israeli, you are in the state of Israel. It is based, it was founded, inspired by the 10 Commandments, because this is what these people have. This is what they brought to the world, and they're sharing these values with you. I hope you are inspired by it, to learn from it and build upon it, and that will assure you that Israel will prevail. Without it, if you look at it, and I said this several times in interviews this week, from a mathematical point of view, if you do the math, Israel is dramatically outnumbered. How many Syrian-Lebanese are coming to join your camp? We are dramatically outnumbered. And yet, plot twist after plot twist, coincidences, miracles. Emunah.
Wow.
يهي بصدق.
Rawan, I had a wonderful week here with you. And we did some screenings. And we offer everyone to order a screening from the Cert movement, wherever you are. And we would love to come or to send you the film with a strong message. And thank you, Rawan. I am honored to call you a partner and a dear friend.
Thank you so much. כי יחד אנחנו חזקים פי 10.
We're 10 times stronger together.
لأنه مع بعض نحن أقوى 10 أضعاف. I'm Rawan Osman. I'm a Syrian-born activist advocating peace between Israel and its neighboring countries. I have the honor and the privilege to partake in Tragic Awakening, a feature documentary that I made with Rabbi Raphael Shor and Rabbi Shalom Schwartz, the founder of Aseret. Together with Aseret and Rav Shor, we had several screenings in Israel, and I hope that we will have more screenings, more events, and offer the public, the audience, a chance to interact, to reflect on the film, on the ideas presented in it, on the light we shed. I hope that it will be food for thought for many until the film becomes available online. I hope you take the initiative, contact Aseret, and try to organize screenings everywhere and discuss the ideas that we present in the film. It was my privilege, and thanks again for everyone who helped make this project come to life.